Hello, hi, how are you? I hope that you are well today and the day is treating you well. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'm sorry. That was super weird. If you're reading this title, however I word it, I'm sure it's going to be something of like extreme budget, grocery shop meal plan with me. And you're like, yes, this is what I need. This is what I need to do. Then yes, hey, here we are. I am glad you're here and watching. Make sure you hit the like button to let me know that you want videos like this, because it really helps me out to know what to record. Also, we have gotten to, some tough times. It's nothing new, okay? It's just been a while. Since we've had to be like really strict and tight on our budget, and mostly when it comes to food, I've had a very cushy food budget for a long time. But because my husband has recently gotten out of the military, there's just been a lot of hang-ups and just like weird things, and we were kind of prepared for it, meaning like we knew from people we've talked to, family and stuff like that have gotten out of the military, we knew that it was going to be kind of tight and rough at first, and so we did stock up and like be strategic about that. But we're trying to right now, it's tight, and so we're just trying to be as strategic, like I said, as possible, trying to use up what we have, spend very little money, as much as possible. However, we're also very sick of beans and rice, because I've been doing that. I haven't been meal planning, which I really hate, not having a meal plan, because one, it stresses me out, and then I'm flailing around last minute trying to figure out what to make, and kids are hungry, and it's just not ideal. And then also excuse me, I'm not using up what needs to be used up, or I forget what I have in my freezers or whatever. Sorry, somebody's got a lot to say. 1 second. Okay, hopefully he won't spit up on me again, because he's already done that once. We're getting ready to go to the store, because duh, shop with us, right? Say hi, bud. Okay, and so yes, meal planning. So I went ahead and I worked on my meal plan when I was at rugby, and then I came home, and I'll show you here now. I went through my freezer, my deep freezer out in the garage, and then I have, oh, he totally spit up on me. I went ahead and went through the freezer, deep freezer in the garage, and then the fridge and stuff downstairs, and just reminded myself of what I have in there. So I kind of, I'm still sticking to my meal plan, except for just kind of switching it up a little bit. I do have a huge pork roast, as you've seen, in a deep freezer, that huge hunk of meat, and then I realized that I do have some bacon and some breakfast sausage in there that I'm going to use up. And then I got a bunch of eggs at Walmart the other day, so instead of having just a bunch of oatmeal and cereal. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. Okay, so one more thing, just to mention that I'm including this because it has been tight, the last paycheck we had, excuse me, we had very little money to even have for food. All of our bills are paid, obviously. Things are taken care of, we're good, and friends are good, and helpful and generous, and it's been great. But because times are a little bit tight, and it's a little, we need to be a little bit more strategic with how we're spending our money and stuff like that. I went and got signed up for WIC. If you don't know what WIC is, it's Women, Infants, and Children, and it's a benefit, a program, for benefits, food benefits, that gives you, so women, if you're nursing or pregnant, and then infants, obviously, and up to age 5. They will provide you with things like milk, cheese, peanut butter, cereal. I got yogurt, some whole grains, a bunch of produce. They give you a really good amount of a voucher for produce. And then, if your baby is nursing, or if your baby is not nursing, formula. They'll also do formula. So if you need a little help, if you're, doing the budget thing and living, extremely tight and stuff like that. He totally spit on me, you guys. He totally spit up on me. Okay, I have to change my shirt before we go to the store. But anyways, if you need a little help, you meet the income requirements, they will provide you with benefits. It's super easy. It took like a week to do because they're just like backed up with like interviews and phone interviews and stuff that you have to do, like questions and stuff. But I was able to get a good amount of produce. I now have cheese and eggs and milk and things. So because I have all of this and cereal, I am going to be using obviously those things to like focusing on using those things for like breakfast and things like that, and versus like using the milk instead of like heavy whipping cream to do like soups and stuff, gravies or whatever that I'm going to make. So I'm going to kind of mix up how I'm doing things, but that's okay. I have learned to live with little and live with much. I grew up, for the majority of my childhood, I grew up, I don't want to say poor, just like very tight and rigid, or on food stamps and things like that. And we've had times where we weren't on food stamps and we had a little bit more time, budget for our food. And same thing when I was a single mom, food stamps, and I had a very strict budget. As well as when my husband was just starting out in the Navy, we had 2 kids. Well, I had one previous kid, and then we had our son together. So anyways. And so he was just like a baby E1, just starting out in the military, barely got anything, living in San Diego. And so we had to get real creative and just kind of really stretch those, stretch the milk, all that kind of stuff. And so I know how to cook in all of these situations. I can be real lavish when I want to, when I have the ability. And thankfully we were smart about it and we did stock up and we bought in bulk, that kind of stuff. If you're new around here and you haven't seen any of my Costco hauls, I'll link a couple. Like I think one of the shopping trips was like $800. That's crazy. But because we did it then when we had it, and we stocked up now in this time where we're like, hey, we kind of need some stuff, I can just go shop my shelves, go in the freezer, that kind of stuff. So that's been good. We have all that. I did my best to mix it up a little bit and not just use beans and rice and potatoes and stuff like that to stretch those meals, even though those are great ways to stretch meals. And use like ground meat, shredded meat, stuff like that will help you stretch those dollars, okay? I tried to not do just like the typical, chili and spaghetti and what are some other things? I can't think of other things right now. Beans, rice, basically. And I try to get a little creative and mix it up a little bit. But, again, those are the cheap things. And that is how you can stretch your meals, stretch your dollars. So there are going to be those types of things. And we haven't had chili in a while. So just a heads up, I am doing chili. Because we haven't done chili in a while, and it's that time. It's fall. We're looking for cozy, warm meals, and chili is one of those really good ways that you can stretch your dollars, stretch your meal, and it's delicious. And a little cornbread, come on, it's delicious. Okay, so I did my best to kind of mix it up, give you some new ideas, that kind of stuff, and I will show you what my meal plan looks like for the week. Okay, so here is my meal plan for the week. I don't know how I didn't get it in the video, but for some reason it wasn't there. So I'm just going to slip this on in there. Here we have breakfast, lunch, and here is what I'm sure you are here for is the dinners. We have tacos, chili and cornbread, baked potato bar, chicken and dumplings, Pioneer Woman noodle bake, and then chicken and gravy over mashed potatoes. And on Sunday we'll do leftovers. That's the plan at least. I did do chicken and dumplings tonight. So I will probably kind of mix it up and do like chicken noodle soup with biscuits. Same ingredients, just a little bit mixed up. And tacos normally I would do on Tuesday because Taco Tuesday, duh. But we have rugby that night, and so I need to do something that's a little bit more just kind of like it can cook on its own while we're there. So, and then I have my shopping list. I am trying to shop for my pantry and stuff like that. But I will go through, as I go through the store and stuff like that, I will show you like any kind of sales that I see, good prices, and things that I would put in the meal that I'm not going to be purchasing, if that makes sense. Just so you guys can see, how to be cost effective and stuff like that. and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead to the, okay, so I'm going to change my shirt because gross, and I can only walk around my house like that. I cannot walk around the store in public. Just kidding. But I'm gonna get cleaned up, change, and then we'll go to the store, and we will see you. And the next time we see you, we'll be in the store. See you there. Okay, I just got to Winco. I have my handy dandy list right here, as minimal as possible. Like I said, as we're walking through, I will kind of show you like the things that I would use as far as like chili and all that kind of stuff is concerned. I think that I'm going to do this like a part 2 video where this is like meal plan shopping, and I'll do like one recipe, like tonight's dinner. I'll have you guys prepare it with me just so that it's not running super long and there's a bunch of information and all of that. And then I'll do another video, like part 2 of where I'm preparing the meals like throughout the week, so you guys can see what I'm using, how I'm using it. But just because I want to make sure that you're seeing the stuff that's in the store that I'm getting, I'm going to kind of try to do my best showing you, but there will probably be like holes and stuff that I'm missing out. And I'll do like recipes and meals and all that kind of stuff in the second video. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so that you're notified when I release that video. If you're interested in watching it, I highly suggest that, because I will forget this stuff all the time. And I really like that I have, the bell hit, and so it notifies me when the videos I'm waiting for are released. So I hope that's helpful. Let's go ahead and head in. I got my boys here with me, my youngest boy and my oldest boy. And then we're going to do some good grocery shopping. Okay, here we are heading into Winco, and if you can see his little face, he is not enjoying this bumpy ride into the store. First up on the list, we have limes, 24 cents each, and I'm going to go ahead and grab 4 of those. And then heading over here to the lettuce, it's $1.78 for the romaine head of lettuce, which is the cheapest of all of the lettuce that was there available to me. And then here we are, bulk chocolate chips. I'm grabbing, I think I ended up 5 pounds. And then here's the beans. I'm showing you guys price per can. If you go ahead and get the store-bought brand, it's only 88 cents per can, which is a pretty good deal. But if you look over here as I show you, getting a bag of dried beans actually turns out to be a lot cheaper than one serving or one can of those. You can get way more for your money if you buy the dry beans and cook them yourself, and it's really not that difficult. I actually have a very simple video that I'll link down in the comments showing you how to cook beans, whether it's in a pot on the stove or in an Instapot. Bouillon is a great alternative to chicken stock or chicken broth if you're in a tight bind, but there are some good options, especially going store-bought or store brand versus the name brand. You can save a few pennies there if you need to, and there's many options. And then going over here to the Top Ramen, I'm picking up an entire pack. I went with the Munchins version because it was about 50 cents cheaper. And if you're going to go per pack, it was 38 cents for one pack and 29 for the other. And then here's some gravy. So making your gravy from scratch will save you a lot of money because it's pretty much stuff you already have. But if you're going to go ahead and buy gravy, buying a packet is going to be cheaper than the can. And then again, I'm just showing you, here's pasta, the prices versus brand name versus store brand. You can get store brand for $1 a package versus like almost $2 for the other one. Now we're coming into the bulk section of Winco, my favorite spot actually, and I'm just looking at prices of like the bulk flour and sugar versus the already prepackaged stuff, and it was about 58 cents for unbleached white flour. Right now I'm not in the place to buy it in bulk, but it was good to know and just see the prices. Okay, and like I said, ground meat is cheaper than other cuts of meat, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase one of these. Okay, and then heading over here to the bread section, I went ahead and picked up that Winco wheat for $1.08, but there are some other options, cheaper options, or not cheaper options, but cheap options, and you just have to go store brand. So if I walk down a little bit further, I could have gotten white bread for only 99 cents, but I chose to stay with the wheat. Okay, we just got back home. This lighting in the kitchen is like the worst of all of the house, so bear with me. I have what we got from the store, and I have dinner stuff getting ready to go, okay? So we ended up spending, I think it was $89. I left my receipt in the car. What I didn't need but got was this big roll of meat, and it is like 75%. It's 73% meat, like lean meat, and then 27% fat. So, you know, it's not ideal. But when you are broke or you are in a pinch or you're trying to, you know, stretch those dollars and pinch those pennies, this is definitely the way to go. And then I didn't need to get limes, but it does make the carnitas tacos a lot better. And just because you're broke doesn't mean you have to, like, have bland food, right? And then the butter, I ended up getting 4 of these things of butter. I probably could have got away with 1.5, like 2, you know? But you never know when you want to bake some cookies or some extra biscuits for breakfast or something like that. And so I went ahead and got an extra one. And then I got a huge pack of tortillas because you will save money buying the bigger pack versus like getting a bunch of little ones. And let me see on my thing. I'm going to do bean and cheese burritos on lunch. For lunch one of the days, and then there was quesadillas on the other. So to make sure that I had enough for both of those, I just got a pack of 24. And then I remembered when I was there, I needed syrup. My kids hate maple syrup, like refuse to eat it, and then don't want to eat pancakes and waffles if they don't have it. So I get the stuff that's not great because that's what they'll eat, and I need them to eat pancakes and waffles. So that's what we do. Anyways, and we'll like bulk it up with like peanut butter or bananas, stuff like that on our pancakes and waffles. So I have this for that. I forgot about it. And then I got the bulk chocolate chips. There's 5 pounds exactly, which is like the large bag at like Costco worth of those. And then I have, I just tore my chocolate chips open on my pumpkin. Okay, and then I have my little glass container here that I have my chocolate chips in for when I fill it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and the pepperonis. Sorry, pepperonis. These were each $2, which isn't ideal, and I know better. Like, it's so hard because it's like, okay, I'm not going to go to like 5 different stores, but I want to get the best deal, and I know Winco's not always the best deal. So, and then sour cream was the other thing, and I got the big tub of it, which was like $5, I think. So, I'm gonna put these chocolate chips in the container right here before they get spilt out all over the place. I'm gonna start what am I making tonight? Chicken and dumplings. So the chicken thighs will go in the Instapot, and then chicken stock, which right there. And then I'm going to chop up some carrots and celery. Those are also another 2 cheap things you can get. Carrots and celery are usually really cheap and will bulk up and give your meal flavor. And that's why I'm kind of doing this. So, I mean, as far as chicken and dumplings, because I feel like it seems like it would cost more than it does, but I get the frozen chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are cheaper than chicken breasts. Oopsie, I'm just dropping things, it's fine. So I get this big thing. This was, I think, $14 at Costco when I got it. And it's 6.5 pounds. And I can get like 4 or 5 meals out of those if I'm like strategic enough with the chicken thighs and I'm not just like tossing as many as I can in there. So I get this frozen, will be cheaper than fresh. There's another little tip, okay? And then you shred it up. So you can make like 4 chicken thighs spread through a family of 9 because you're shredding it up in chicken dumplings, okay? And then I make my own gravy. Like I mix my own sauce in my own biscuits, which will save money also. So those are that. Those are some tips and little tricks, hacks, what have you, to save some money on groceries. I'm going to go ahead and get this started, get this situated. Oh, and then, oh yeah, Top Ramen. You guys, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. You guys seen this though, right? I showed it in the video of like shopping. This was almost $7, a few cents off. I'm going to eat this chocolate chip. And there's 24, I think, in here. Where's the little, I don't really want to count them all. Yeah, 24. 3-ounce ones, and I use 4 to feed 5 of my 7 children. So I can make that's like a few lunches, you know what I mean? So that's a great way to get it. And you can also bulk up ramen, like top ramen with some veggies, some chicken, hard-boiled eggs, like soft-boiled eggs, I mean. So you can make that more of a meal that's more like adult friendly, adult, whatever, like for adults versus like that. You can also use it as like stir fry, or chow mein. That's what I was looking for chow mein too. Some easy ways to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this stuff. Okay, and just like any starter of soup, I'm gonna pour in the chicken stock, and I'm gonna pour an entire thing in there. I'm only using one this time because it is more like a creamy soup. So I'm gonna be adding some heavy whipping cream I have left over from another meal. And then I'm gonna go ahead and toss in my chicken thighs. I intended to do 4, but I ended up doing 5 because one was stuck to it. It was just easier to put it in there. And then I'm gonna pressure cook this on high for 30 minutes because it's frozen chicken. And this is why you should always check your fridge or your freezers or whatever to see if you have what you think you have before you go, because now I'm using baby carrots and kind of frozen celery because my freezer or my fridge is crazy and freezes things that have no business being frozen, kind of like, you know, celery in the produce drawer. And then carrots. I'm just cutting up the baby carrots in like fourths. But you know, check before you go, and then if you don't, then you just use what you got. Here's my pretty much frozen celery, and I'm just slicing it down the center and then chopping it up from there. Okay, another way to pack a punch with a meal. Just because you broke, girl, does not mean, or guy, you could be watching cooking too. I'm sorry. Anyways, just because you don't have a lot of money does not mean that your meal cannot taste good. So I have my onions, carrots, celery, and I'm mincing up some garlic in here. These are inexpensive ways to pack a punch with flavor. And you can get you can go to Walmart or to any like local store. You can go to the dollar store and you can get a thing of seasoning for like $1.98 if you're at Walmart, you know. So there's no reason why your food can't taste amazing and great and be delicious, and still, you know, not be cost, you know, an arm and a leg. Okay, so there's my carrot, celery, garlic, onion. I put a whole onion in there and 3 cloves of garlic, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some of this Italian seasoning. And don't be shy, you don't want your food not to taste good. You don't want bland food. Okay, so now that I got all this in here, shaking around, I'm gonna mix it around a little bit so it's like in there. There we go, mixed up a little bit. I'm gonna turn it on, I'm gonna pressure cook. I'm gonna clean up, and then I will, when I'm done, I'll show you guys, like, obviously chicken and dumplings, right? So I gotta make the biscuits, which is a super easy, quick thing to do, and then you just pop it in, pressure cook, high, like 30 minutes because it's frozen chicken. Okay, so I'm making biscuits, and I figured since I'm making biscuits, I might as well go ahead and make some muffins for the week too, especially because we're gonna need them tomorrow for church. Okay, I am starting out with 8. I'm putting it in the, I'm using my food processor that my lovely mother-in-law gifted me. There we go, it's all down. Because it's perfect for biscuits and things like that. Pie dough especially. That was an amazing thing. Okay, so I got my stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon of sugar. I have to check and see if it was, I think it's salt. Okay. Teaspoon sugar. Are you making something like mommy? Yeah. Okay. Teaspoon of salt. Tablespoon baking soda. Sorry, that's shaking it. And then, 1 second, baby. Oh, I have to get the bucket of flour because we used up all the stuff in the jar making cookies for my husband's work. Boosting morale. Okay, and then 2 cups of flour.
Mommy?
Yes, ma'am?
Where's the candies?
No, we can have candy later. We're gonna have that with the movie.
Movie?
Yeah.
Movie?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. And then 3/4 cup of milk.
Mom, come see.
Ah, your head bumped my little milkage. Okay.
Ew.
No, leave that one alone because my mommy's gonna need it, okay? So, I have all my ingredients here in the food processor. I'm gonna go ahead and let that mix all up while I do
Mommy.
muffins.
I
Yes,
got
ma'am.
20 these ones, but is that accident?
Yeah, you gotta ask me. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's all blending. Now we're gonna do muffins.
Mommy.
Muffins. Oh, we're gonna need eggs. Hold on. Okay, I manually released the Instapot. I didn't do a slow release. As you can see in here, the chicken is all cooked. Carrots, celery, all of that. And it smelled so good when I opened it up. I cannot wait to eat this food. I'm just going to take out the chicken and shred it. Okay, so here I am shredding the chicken. I'm just using the tongs and the knife because I didn't want to dirty any more utensils. Normally this is not how I would shred chicken, but the Instapot did a pretty good job of making it nice. After shredding the chicken, I went ahead and put it back into the Instapot with the rest of the soup. And now I'm going to scoop in balls of the biscuit mixture into the Instapot. It was not working out this way, so I switched this view. But I'm just going to go ahead and scoop the full mixture or all of the mixture into the Instapot. If you don't have a cookie scooper like I do, then you can go ahead and just use a spoon. It's not going to ruin it or anything like that if you don't have it. Okay, you can be done. Okay, this is the heavy whipping cream I was talking about. I had left over from another recipe. I'm just going to use that because that's what I have. But if you don't have a heavy whipping cream, you can also use half and half, or milk also works. And now I'm just going to stir it all together. The biscuits haven't cooked yet. I'm going to leave that in there for a little bit to cook, but I want to make sure it's all mixed up together before I do that. Okay, so I have a ton of dishes to do now. I'm just letting the dumplings settle and finish setting, like cooking. If I was cooking it on the stove, if I had more time to do it, I would have let it like low boil for like 10 minutes, but I don't. So it's just gonna sit in here with the heat that's already in there. Okay, so here it is all boiled up. I probably let the biscuits sit in there closer to 15 minutes than 10 minutes with the lid on, but it was delicious. Everyone loved it, and there was even enough leftovers for probably 2 meals, but I'm gonna probably just have it for my husband's lunch. Muffins are done, which is great. They look definitely like blue. Oh, you can't see it in the light. My son was like, why is it green if it's blueberry? It's blue, but it just looks weird. It happens. Anyways, I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. I hope that it inspired you or got you thinking or just gave you ideas that you might have been looking for. I hope that that you have what you need or the resources to help you have what you need. That if you know any tips, tricks, or things that you have come across that are helpful to help you save money, please leave those down in the comments also, because 1, I would love to know, and 2, I really want to encourage our community to help one another. Times are tight and things are, we just got to do what we got to do. So, oh, and if you are not subscribed, make sure that you do subscribe if you're not already, because I will be doing this in like a 2-part video, and I don't want you to miss any ideas or meals or anything like that. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that you're notified when I release it. And I think that's all. I so appreciate you guys being here with me. I appreciate you coming along and watching. And as always, happy homemaking. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!